I think they're going to be doing May.
I think it is going to be somewhat stage dependent. The first set, this was the very first map. All I did was put my camera on Shore 4, and he crushed it as May, was absolutely brutalizing people. So it's no surprise to see him on this stage in particular running May. But perhaps adjustments will come through as stages move on. But definitely, I was just watching only him, and he killed it on May. I think we go to Control Center would be the map that he switches off of it.
Am I muted, boys, or can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Sorry. I trust chat too much sometimes. Oh,
see, now you know they have
trust
power.
chat.
What have you done, you fool?
Mate, I'm still casting, so they don't clearly have enough power. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, mate. I'll give you the big tip. Let's go. 10 seconds remain. The red side is going to be Cloud9. And like you guys sort of pointed out, it will be Shore 4 in the mix. Grim Reality, though. Well, we see that McCree really locked away, pushed out here with the rest of the team. That'll be good to see here, of course, and maybe no real shock to us here to see him on that pick. So Roadhogs for both teams, Reinhardt's for both teams, the Zarya versus Diva. That's the real point of difference between these two lineups.
Should be interesting to see. A lot of this is Grim Reality versus Shore 4 is going to be a matchup we want to watch a lot of the time, and I think that early hook onto Agilities is going to put them in a bad spot right away, but Hype is able to flip it back. 5v5 right now.
Yeah, Grim Reality finds Adam there as well. Position is pretty good for Immortals on the point right now, getting the important pickoffs. Nomi's put to sleep, but he just stays alive there. Kai was forced back and not able to get the follow-up he needed. So eventually Nomi will get that healing once that biotic grenade is timed out. And a very convincing start for Immortals. That was a landslide victory in that fight for the mix.
We talked a little bit about hypes before we got into this match, and no, nothing, just a little 4K to open it up for his Diva. Already at 80% on the self-destruct. He crushed it.
It was big. Cloud9 are going to go again, though. Back to the drawing board. Again, Rib at the 4. That first charge will be pretty important now. The defense matrix comes out. Doesn't really do much to isolate the Immortals, though, as Nomi's going to come forward. Oh, he's knocked him off. Rib is knocked off the edge by Nomi, and he comes forward now, making the most of that nano boost. Unfortunately, he drops down. Kai went off the edge here. If I'm not mistaken, it was a boop from Verbo. But either way, Grim Reality, now it's a tankless team. Shore 4 and Adam fall down, Amendo to 8th, and this is convincing for Immortals thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. Cloud9 did a really good job at disengaging off of that boosted Reinhardt. They were able to get out, then they took him down. I thought that's when they were going to swing the fight, but it was a couple really nice clutch kills from Grim Reality. 2 to bring it back. That's just too much to deal with. You can't fight after that, so this has been all Immortals thus far. A nice boot by Hype knocks Mendo off the cliff. Hype with another 2K to open this fight.
Beautiful stuff there as well. I mean, Hype is going massive. We've seen some good stuff from Nomi as well there, even when he was using that nano boost. And this is 65% to 0. Cloud9 have got to wake up. They've got to respond here. We have this picked to be a very strong victory for Cloud9 ultimately throughout the series, but they are not looking good. They have a Blizzard, they have a Whole Hog, they have a nano boost here, and they're going to go again around the far side and try and force through that very small corridor.
Well, they did lose this map overall to FaZe, but they dominated this stage for FaZe. Part of it is you need to have control of this map for May to be super effective, to be able to wall off the bridge and really control the map, and so far they've just never had control.
Again, going to go forward. Grim Reality channeling the Dorado from the backside, but it's going to be a sound barrier here on the side of Cloud9, but Shore 4 falls very early on. Self-destruct goes into the point, won't catch on anyone, but Nomi comes in. It's the one-man flank on the Reinhardt. Not able to find anything quite yet, as Agilities was left unprotected. Mendo does take his cut. Now backing away, it's going to be Verbo as well. With that speed, or with a health boost, should I say, towards his team. Hype gets desuited here. Graviton coming through. This should be enough for C9 to win the fight, but they've invested deeply. Forced to dig into the pockets, find everything they can, including lint and old paper clips, but it will be enough to keep themselves in.
It was the paperclip that really put him over the edge there. They do end up burning most of their ults, to your point. Rib is going to have his Earth Shatter, but it is Immortals with 3 ults of their own at the ready here. So what Cloud9 likes to do is get kind of aggressive here and try to pick them off as they're going to come over. Is Shore 4 in the correct position here? Actually, Shore 4 is off that main now, not working with it. So the McCree battle coming in.
Oh, that was pretty. It's a 5-6-man Earth Shatter coming through. Kai gets 2 kills. Shore 4 sets it up, gets the flash over the shield, and one of the more convincing combos that I have seen. Rib was providing just what was needed, and it was an utter decimation.
That was filthy, and I will say earlier when Cloud9 was at their best, a lot of it has been off the back of their recent pickups, and it was mostly Rib and Wolf going absolutely ham. Rib in particular, you see right there, that's the biggest Earth Shatter I think I've ever seen. That's about as big as it gets, 6-man and a full cleanup.
Nah, absolutely disgusting, Hex. Really don't know what to say. But Hype's going to work around the side there. Rip Shield is taken out. Nomi gets a big Earth Shadow, though. The follow-up is coming. Nomi gets 2. Kills Shore4 and charges Kai into the wall. Adam going for a desperate sound through, but he gets caught in midair. He's not even allowed to touch the ground because Nomi sends him for a home run with a rocket hammer. And Immortals take it back in style. Very convincing for them, and they'll take the first round.
I will tell you why it's a really good sign for Immortals is that usually when they're doing really well, it's Agilities and Grim because their DPS are just top tier. Right there, it was all their tanks. Nomi at the end with a 5k and hyped all throughout the match. Every time he was involved in a fracas, he was able to take down 3 and 4 kills by himself. So the tank play being at this level is great because you can't imagine that Agilities and Grim are going to be as quiet as they were on that stage throughout the set.
Slash your thoughts, my friend. Oh, he's eating. All right, I'll let him go to the next round. Sorry, bro. Okay. Well, I mean, Cloud9 had their chance and had their moment there as well. But again, the Diva, that's the point of difference between these two teams. And Kai had a decent Graviton surge, but Hyped has definitely been outshining him if we're talking about that one flex tank player that isn't playing Roadhog or Reinhardt. So keep your eyes on that one and see how it changes now coming into the second stage. It's going to be Night Market here. Again, it'll be C9 in the red. It's going to be McCree, but Shore4 switching off the McCree though, going towards a May. Good starting hook there. Nomi's caught out.
Yeah, it's nice for them, but Agilities is the... Bringing it back is, gets Kai there, there goes Rib, so that's a couple of really nice kills, all ready for Immortals, already fighting with a 2-man advantage. That's a 3-man advantage, that should be fight.
That's big. Nomi got caught out right at the start of that one there. He's actually able to recover enough. His team backed him up. He had the healing, and then he comes through, and again, Hyped and Nomi are dominating the scoreboard. Grim Reality, if anything, is a distraction right now, getting the flashes when he needs to, but this is... I mean, this is incredibly impressive from Immortals so far. Hyped will position himself up on the sign from above, ready to pop down. Kai hooked immediately. You can't block a hook with Defense Matrix, but Agilities can't finish the kill. Now he's going to get nano boosted, but doesn't have himself a whole hog. I don't know what the point is in that. I guess maybe for a better durability. Perhaps there are better targets, but still. He's staying alive. He kites back. Kai has to stay with the rest of his team. Rip goes down to, I guess, a Grim Reality, and then Agilities drops in. Finds Mendo. Hype charges forward. Kai desuited there, and Cloud9 again are wasting away.
This is just a masterclass in tank play. Hyped went really deep there, and I thought he was going to be in big trouble, but used the defense matrix perfectly. Nomi got caught out early, and I thought that was going to spell doom for Immortals. It was not. Res team picked him up. Agilities hit a late hook onto Mendo, who perhaps should not even have tried the hook. He was at about a quarter HP and could not be healed at the time, but right now it's Cloud9 searching for answers. They have none so far.
Yeah, I don't know. So far, it's just been all over the place for them, and Immortals have looked so clean, so tight so far. Let's see. Wall comes up. Nomi caught off, but gets the Earth Shatter anyway, gets himself 4. It's going to be a Blizzard, but already a heck of a lot of other follow-up there now. Not too many people frozen. Grim Reality staying alive for now. The hook comes in from Mendo, but he can't finish the kill. Goes for the whole hog. No one to really fire at except Nomi. He's in the backline. He just puts his shield up and says, "Come at me, bro." And now a self-destruct over towards the side. That also doesn't catch anyone there. Kai goes down after being desuited. Wolf eats a hook, but then Agilities gets hooked himself, and that's better. He gets a nano boost, this time with a whole hog combined. He's going to force them back out. Get off my lawn, he says, as he turns away with a scrap gun.
They just seem so much more comfortable in this tank-heavy composition than Cloud9 does right now. Cloud9 needs to go back to what works best for them, because right now they're getting out-tank played by a large margin right now. And it's not like these guys can't play tanks. It's just somehow the coordination is not there. They're picking fights they can't win. There's another hook by Agilities laid onto Shore4. Completely one-sided stage, and Immortals... I mean, Slasher said it, they have to win these King of the Hills to be able to compete in this series. Looking good so far.
My God, Slasher, is your gob empty, mate? Have you managed to get your food? Talk us through this.
I have. I mean, this is what I thought would be the biggest issue for Cloud9, is that Immortals stacks up very well matchup-wise, especially in this meta. Hype has been doing all the work that I thought he would, and Agilities has more experience than Mendo does on Roadhog. And we've seen it thus far, and if they continue this style into these next maps, Cloud9's gonna have some problems.
Yo, this is not even close, guys. Right now, Immortals are really just moving forward and taking so much real estate. I mean, let's see. Let's just see how Control Center ends up here. Shore4 now not messing with the mate. Straight to the McCree to start things off, and Agilities actually will be playing that one. So that puts Grim Reality over towards the Roadhog here. It's almost like there's some gamesmanship happening here from the side of Immortals.
Yeah, but the two key cogs are not going to switch, and that's Hyped and Nomi who've been killing it. Hyped starts it off by taking out Rib immediately. That is 2 very fast kills. Take out both tanks on Cloud9. Only a damage tank up. There goes Shore4 taken out in short order as well. And already they're in front position here, taking over the point, 3 kills to 0. This Immortals team looks like very at home on Lijiang Tower.
Cloud9 are reeling right now, completely being pushed off this point for the second time, and that Mei wall from Agilities has been crucial thus far in securing these kind of fights. Now Shore4 thinking about flanking around the side, but Nomi's going to be there. We see the entirety of Immortals move off the point. They try and set up. A hook goes from Mendo, catches on the Grim Reality, but he gets away with his life somehow. Eichenwalde getting the healing in one after another. Hype did go in a little bit too deep, and that's Agility's being hooked out here. So much better foundations being laid in this fight for C9. But with Verbo finding Shore4 there with shots, this could go either way. It will be Immortals backing out for now, though.
Yeah, Cloud9's finally going to take this point largely based on Kai taking out Hype right away. It seems that they have identified the problem. It is Kai's diva, or it is rather Hype's diva, and Kai is going to focus him as much as possible. Kai is going to be at that Graviton soon. Got to be very careful to not get eaten by the Korean future vacuum, as ZP likes calling it. It's an apt description of the defense matrix when it comes to ultimates you can throw at it. Yeah, that's actually pretty good too.
Well, let's see. Wall comes up, Mendo gets caught, that's a big Graviton, that's a massive Graviton, it can't be overstated, but for some reason, Rook now going to give his team the shielding and the healing that they need, of course, from that Transcendence. No shielding, what are you talking about? It doesn't matter, Mendo gets 2, finds Ethan and Nomi now. A self-destruct goes down on the point, doesn't catch onto anyone though from the side of Immortals now, or from, should I say, C9, as Kai still on that Zarya. Good Graviton to start the fight, stalls out the fight long enough here for C9 to maintain control, and Immortals are only running a 3-man squad. What? Grim Reality gets hooked over one of the computer consoles. Even he types WTF in chat. I've never seen that before. This is getting crazier and crazier, but the Blizzard comes in. Kaiko's going to be frozen solid. Wolf can only look on and try and throw balls into the mix, but again, Immortals move forward in numbers. They have control, they have the point, and they have the fun. They have the fight won. I'm losing my mind right now, Hex. What is going on?
You just saw someone get hooked through a wall. That's not that he was outside the wall, moved behind it. He was behind the wall 100% of the time. The hook went through the wall 100% of the time, and then he got lifted up and over. Yeah, I think both of them know that hook is a little odd. I've seen some odd hooks, like, oh, he was outside, then he went behind it, so he got hooked around. That makes sense. That hook went through the wall. That was bonkers. Regardless, they do flip it back over. Should be about 65 to 65 the next time the big fight ensues here. Shore4 has that Deadeye up, a man with great value out of that Deadeye. It'd be interesting to see if he wants to roll around top, and Nomi takes down Kai early. Cloud9 has to think better of even if they want to engage right now. A lot of it's going to depend if Mendo can get a hook here. This fight's already over. They cannot go in 4v6.
Agility's just won that fight. Again, he knew where Cloud9 were going to be pushing from. He just waits and sets up the wall. Kai got hooked in, and then the wall came up behind him. There was nowhere to run. Perfect stuff there from Immortals. It's 77 to 64 now. And Ultimates, well, there are 2 available for Immortals. They got an Earth Shatter, they got a Nano Boost. Shore4 moves to the Tracer now, trying to go for a flank on towards Ethan, at least get that ultimate out of the picture, but he just fired a grenade himself, stays alive a bit longer. Cloud9 tentatively moving on to the point now. Mendo and Rib going together. Wall comes up though, and there's a Nano Boost on towards Nomi, but he's going to have to wait. Transcendence being used by Rolfie to keep C9 healthy, and the fight continues.
Yeah, Ethan able to take on Adam. That Earthshatter only ends up taking out one tank, but he gets counter Earthshattered by Rib, but it's hyped self-destruct over the top. Takes down a couple. The Blizzard should seal it out. It will lock out any remaining members of Cloud9. That is a 3-0. A dominant 3-0 for the most part for Immortals on Lijiang Tower.
What the heck did I just see? That was pretty insane stuff there. And Immortals come out very, very strong. We talked about there being Nepal and Lijiang Tower in this map pool here, and we talked about how that might affect this matchup. But so far, King of the Hill map's looking good for Immortals.
So, I'm going to have to backtrack on everything that I've said previously. So, when I'm thinking back to why Immortals was so poor on these King of the Hill maps previously, it was during the dive comp meta, and it was during the time when Tracer was kind of like a de facto pick on a lot of these maps, and Grim Reality nor Agilities really played Tracer at a high level, and Hype, who is now Ethan, would have to like flex in the Tracer, and then had to put another player on support, and that never really worked out too well. But because they are so good at this current meta, and they could just kind of run it on King of the Hill, you can see how dominant that they can be on a map like that. And I thought that they would pose matchup problems towards Cloud9, and they actually exceeded my expectations here on Lijiang. I think Cloud9 are going to have a lot of trouble throughout this series.
C9 just picked Nepal. They just beat Nepal straight after that. Hex, what? Why?
They want to run it back. They want to run it back. They're saying, all right, whatever. Fine, 3-0. That doesn't even count. Doesn't even count. Let's go again. This is going to go much better this time.
What do you reckon, Hex? What is this?
I think May is better on Nepal, and that's maybe what they want to run, especially on, I forget what the stage is called. It's not Garden, but it's the one at the little room that you can put walls up and it completely lock you in. Not very good on Sanctum. Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. I don't know. I think maybe Cloud9 just... They've been in a hurry all night tonight, so maybe they want to get it over with. If they don't win Nepal, they're just going to call it a set. We'll see.
Well, I think it's even going to get more of a problem for Cloud9 because as we saw in that third round, Immortals has the ability to put agilities on May and then Grim Reality on Roadhog. They have 2 Roadhog players who can play Roadhog at a very high level. So it's not going to get any easier for Cloud9 even when Immortals has to switch up the matchup.
Yeah, a very, very good play from Agilities, by the way. I mean, it's a map that we see plenty of May play because even in the middle room of Control Center, you can use walls to isolate large amounts of that area. If you use the computer consoles where they're placed, you can sort of put a wall across between a console and a wall and, you know, sort of cover off some area like that one as well. And, okay, so Kaikai played Zarya through that whole series, guys. Do you think he needs to switch? Do you think Zarya is a part of this problem? Or is it something else entirely?
I mean, I think Grim Reality is doing work on McCree, and if that's going to happen, then maybe he should. I know he likes Zarya in this comp. He thinks it's a pretty good answer to the Diva. I don't think he's going to switch. I don't know if Grim Reality is even the reason they're getting beaten so bad. It feels like it's just a tank play coming out from Immortals. That's why they're winning.
I mean, Hex, anything to add there as well? Would you agree? Because I haven't really seen, you know, Grim Reality riding the kill feed so much. It seems like he's been a source of damage, but definitely not the instigator in these fights.
No, I tend to think right now that the Zarya pick is somewhat more of a comfort pick. And also, I mean, if you look at it, the problem has been Hyped. Hyped was eating every sleep dart that they had up when they were running an Ana, knowing that he was an issue. Unfortunately, they woke him too many times. So I think like they understand right now, if we want to start beating them, that the beginning of the kill feed has to read that Hyped dies, and then they're okay. Those are the fights they won when Hyped died early, so I think Zarya's a good answer to that. And Kaikai's a phenomenal Zarya, always has been. Maybe it's an answer. They're running 2 Beam heroes now in Short 4 and Kaikai, so maybe they'll have an answer for Hyped, but he dominated that first map.
Well, whether you kill Diva or desuit her, you still get rid of the biggest threatening part of her kit. But look at this fight. Oh, Mendo goes off the edge. That's not a good way to start it all. It's Hyped. It sends him over. Rolf finds Grim Reality, though, but there's Agilities. It's a 4v4 right now. Pretty intense fight. Hook comes in from Agilities, and Shortfall straight in towards Ice Block now. Ball comes up. Agilities falls back onto the point, and that biotic grenade on Shortfall is going to have to back him up real quick. Agilities are still on the point with Verbo, so a pretty decent hold to start with, but there's Wolf picking up Hype there, getting rid of him, and now Kaikai finds Agilities. And Cloud9 now have got confidence to come forward. Another wall from Short 4, and he almost gets booped by Verbo.
Yeah, Nomi finds himself out in no man's land as Short 4 cleans him up after the charge from Rib. A much better engagement after the first fight on the stairs from Cloud9. Hitting some nice hooks. Rolf starting it off too. Killing the desuited Diva is exactly what you want. Make sure that Hype is not going to be a problem. Hype did a lot of damage there. He's getting so much charge on these King of the Hill maps just based on his environmental kills. I think that's his 3rd one at the very least we've seen over the last 10 minutes or so. He's got self-destruct already ready.
Hyped gets away with that one there as well. The idea was Cloud9 wanted to get a desuited Diva. That will be so much harder for Immortals to attack back with that one, but he manages to zoom away there with the boosters, and now they're going to go through on the left side. A wall immediately comes up here. Going to buy Cloud9 some time just to set up a little bit here towards this left side of the map, maybe force someone to come across, look for a hook. There it is. Mendo gets the hook. He finds Grim Reality. Now the self-destruct comes in, but Hype doesn't throw the needle properly. It misses. It goes away. Apparently that was through the shield, that hook, but who knows? It's going to be a Graviton Blizzard. That's the combo you want. That's the combo you need. It's 50% to 8.
Yeah, apparently still some odd mechanics going on in the game. I've been told that the last hook that we saw did not go through a wall. It was a jump into a head hitbox, and the animation works that way, but still
yeah,
probably
because it doesn't hook their head. It hooks the middle of their model.
Yeah, it shouldn't work that way. I don't know. It does. Whatever. That hook happened. The hook was legit based on how the game works, so nothing clipping issues happen. They do get the wall in after only 3 tanks come in, but Agility's the first one with a kill, and that Earth Shatter's enormous.
That was massive, and you saw that they tried to wall off half the team. Shortfall got hooked immediately immediately after that, and it's a landslide victory. That fight there, nicely done by Immortals to turn it around. Despite being split 3 and 3, they had the right people on the right side of that wall there. Great little hook coming in from Agilities.
Well, the nice thing for Cloud9 is they only have to win one more fight, and they've got some tank ultimates to work with. Rib has been crushing it on Earthshatter, so we'll see if that comes into play. Adam's got Sounder, so they have all the tools they need to win one more fight. There goes someone right off the edge, right away. Rib gets the better part of Nomi there.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was the wall that knocked Nomi back, but either way, he's fallen a long way down now. Aethan gets taken there by Shore4. It's an ice spike to the dome, and they'll set up on the point here, but Agilities lives, and so does Hyped. The hook missing and Agilities jumping off the edge. I guess he was hoping for something to pull someone down with him, but yeah, not convinced about that one. C9 take the point back. It's now 78 and counting. They have Transcendence, they have Earthshatter, they have Whole Hog. Let's see if they can...
I mean, that's a big risk just to try to go for style points.
I don't know. Mendo did it on Dorado, but he wasn't risking his life, really. He just sort of jumped and faded away. So, risky indeed. Let's see now. Immortals are going to flank all the way around. A bit of a position switch now, and another great walk from Shore4. This is a big split on towards Immortals. They don't have everyone in the right places at all. Verbo falls immediately to Shore4, and my game crashed, so that's brilliant. Carry on.
Oh, that's all right. A self-destruct comes over the top. Perhaps that was major game crash. Nomi's getting cleaned up on the point. This should be a Cloud9 fight and stage win. They needed something like this to get their confidence back. Hyped is going to try to bring it back. He does knock Kai off the edge. They have to be very careful of Hype's jet boost mechanics because he has used it to great ability. That is, I believe, his 4th environmental kill in these last 2 maps. Luckily, I think the next 2 stages in Nepal, well, one of them has a little verticality, but generally not knocking people off. They have to be careful of gravity. Gravity kills.
Well, one of the things we saw there
so
too,
many of those environmental kills, like you said, in that particular round there. And yeah, we're going to see a little bit less of it going on towards Shrine here. Apologies for that random crash, guys. Don't really know what.
Are you back in there?
Yeah, no, I'm back in. I'm back.
Okay, I was muted you guys for a second, so I started going in, and it's like, wait, we're actually back in. All right, we're good. I don't have to come off the bench here. I'm just gonna sit here, relax, enjoy the
Stay on the bench, CP. Get out of here.
Ride that pine.
You have to ride the pine. Oh, okay. All right, boys, let's sort ourselves out. Next round, C9 open up really nicely here. And no big changes in composition from what I can see coming out from really either side. Shore4 stays on the Mei. I mean, we still don't see a Mei coming out for Immortals here. They're going to have McCree for Grim Reality.
All right, so the wall has come up on the point, and the charge going into the wall has been kind of an opening that Cloud9 likes a lot. However, Ethan's able to take down Ribs, Agility takes out Mendo. It has been this all the way through these King of the Hill maps. It has been 2 kills for Immortals right off the bat, and I think even though Cloud9's running these same set pieces, they have to rethink it. A lot of times it's been wall into charge, and it's worked against other teams. It is not working against Immortals at all.
Oh, Rib will come forward on the Reinhardt here. The rest of C9 behind him now. That's going to be broken very, very quickly. Wall comes up. Nomi and Hype are caught out there, and it will be Nomi falling very quickly. Good bio grenade thrown there by Aethan. Follow-up lacking. Shore4 gets no healing. No, he gets charged by Hype the second he gets out of the ice block. Not bad at all. Now he's in mini diva form, as we'll call it, having to back away. But in the meantime, the point is where the action is happening. Agility's found Kai early on in the fight, and now a Transcendence from Wolf is going to make it that much more comfortable for C9 to establish. But Agility's hiding in the corner. Little Goblin Hook comes in, gets the kill on Hook. Mendo punishes him for that eventually, and now Nomi charged up against the wall by Rib. A fire strike through the shield to get the job done. Rib with the double. C9 back in the hot seat.
Yeah, Rib playing really well yet again, and we saw it a little bit on the last stage too. I think if they are going to pull back this set, Rib is going to have to go even harder carry mode. Even the moments on stages they've lost, the good moments for Cloud9 have mostly come off the back of their Reinhardt play, and he's yet again has his Earthshatter ready. Kai will have Graviton ready as well, so we're going to see the ultimate stage of the game begin right now.
On towards the point. Another wall comes out from Shore4 here, and a Deadeye from Grim Reality. A very weird angle, and with the wall, he's not going to get much for it. What a hook. Mendo finds Aethan from the low ground now, and he's actually going to be helped out by Wolf there. Finds Agility. That is a good turnaround, a 64. Earthshatter comes in, self-destruct to back it up, and who's going to be caught by it? Mendo and Adam go down for Hype. Good timing off the Earthshatter to get that self-destruct in, but still there's enough players for Cloud9 to turn it up. Wolf and Kai find Verbo and Hype, and their kid, or Kai, sorry, and the help of Rib does put Grim Reality up against the wall and clean them up. Winning that fight was massive for C9. They got a huge amount of percentage there, and they've got 5 ultimates, 6 ultimates for the next fight.
Yeah, loaded for bear, as we like to say around here, and this should be a fight that they absolutely win. The important thing is, and even watching their first set, Cloud9's been kind of, you know, throwing some ultimates away that they don't necessarily have to. So here comes the sound barrier. You'd like to see them use just enough to win, but losing Kai early is going to make sure that they don't use Graviton. That hurts. Graviton actually came out.
Yeah, the Hyped and Agility's both focused him. Agility's using his whole hog to try and get rid of Kai. That's a huge investment to get rid of the Zarya, and the rest of C9 were just there to do damage. I don't really know why we saw that from Immortals there. There are other priority targets on the side of C9, including Mei, who, speaking of which, freezes Grim Reality up. That keeps him alive. He knows that he's being kept alive now, and he's even being healed up by his own Nana.
So
sure the plan
cool.
is there for Ethan, but
I feel like the last couple days, teams have really gotten strategies to stagger really strong. I've not seen such good staggering out of teams ever in Overwatch, and they're using a lot of different methods. It's been really fun to watch. They put him in cryo freeze there twice.
Ethan there as well, getting hooked again at the start of the fight by Mendo. Mendo really finding the right target there to make life a lot easier for C9 in the later part of the fight. There's a serious lack of healing, and Rib, there's no lack of hammer down, that's for sure. Hype is knocked down to the ground, and I believe it was Grim Reality in the background also falling. Rolf following up so well on those ultimates. It's going to be 2-0. Kai, definitely some fire in his belly, boys. He called the pull straight after C9 got dumpstered on Lijiang Tower, and it is going far better for them. Hyped was nowhere to really be seen that stage. It's a stage where you don't get environmental kills, this also being another stage where environmental kills are rare. So it's kind of a big part of his game, especially was on Lijiang Tower. He's going to stay on D.Va, but D.Va's not optimal on every single stage. They're going to go a little more dive comp, though, as Agilities, who made his name on a Genji, is going to be on that Genji. Grim Reality will move over to a Tracer, and it seems like we will see a Tracer v Tracer as Shore4 picks it up on the other side.
Not exactly sure this is the best move coming out from Immortals. I'd rather than go back to what has been working. I think Cloud9 might just take this through themselves.
And no Roadhog here is, in my opinion, a little bit of a risk, and they're going to have the Zarya D.Va combo with no Reinhardt. So, no Winston here I find quite strange. I'm hoping that Hype will be a key part of that dive comp, but I question this in a big way. Shore4 finds Ethan. Look at him in the backline. There's no one really to peel at the moment. Verbo trying, but he's sticking with Agilities for the most part. And now it will be Grim Reality, wins the Tracer duel, but Mendo finds Agilities, and Cloud9 have good position now up on the high ground. They're going to force Immortals away, force them onto the point to try and bait C9 there, but Cloud9 are moving as a unit right now. They got Mendo coming back in, charge in from Rib, doesn't find anyone, but will take the point back for them.
This stage is largely going to be dependent on Mendo, and he has shown right now that he has it, what it takes to win this, as he's taken out Grim Reality and Agilities. He's hitting the hooks that he needs to hit. Those are the two flankers you have to shut down as Roadhog, and he's done it.
He just smashed a mini D.Va with a right click as well. That is the most satisfying thing in the game. Maybe only Trace is more satisfying to kill than that, but still, Mendo doing serious work. And obviously, Ethan, the inclusion here on the Zenyatta instead of the normal Ana for him, that Discord Orb needs to go towards Mendo early on and pick him off. The Rib, the Reinhardt here as well. That's a big boon for C9, and Immortals don't have one. They're hoping just to be aggressive and mobile here, but they're not lasting the fights out. Random bit of a self-destruct in the backline, but Hype does find Rib. He's not able to avoid that one, and now Agility's getting a bit of space to work with. He reflected Mendo's hook, and now Adam going to let a sound barrier go on the point. It's a 5v4 situation, and Agility's up on the top side, can't find much. Rule finds him instead, a man who I've already praised a lot tonight, Hex, still getting it done.
The pickups for Cloud9 have made this roster what it is now. I mean, the half of Cloud9 that remaining are very solid players, but this team has gotten a huge boon from Rib, from Mendo, and from Rolf especially. Those are great heroes for them, and honestly, when they're playing their best, it's usually one of those two picking them up. You know exactly what your DPS are going to get from you, and they've been playing great tonight. Rib and Rolf have been the R&R that this Cloud9 team needs.
Yeah, and there's no Reinhardt on the side of Immortals, so it's so much free damage, or easy damage as it were. Ethan, that's beautiful. Rib charges the Transcending Ethan away. He can't give any healing to Hyped and any of the dive team that's going in. Perfect response there, of course. You can still move as Zenyatta around the map with some of your abilities while he's using Transcendence. And look at this, it's dominant. C9 are going to turn this one around. Will it be a 0-3 into a 3-0 for C9? Because it looks like it so far, Hex.
Mendo has been somewhat inconsistent on his Roadhog, less so now that he is in the US. When he was on the European side of the Cloud9 roster, his ping was a little high, he missed a lot of hooks. He has been all over it, shutting down these flankers, and at a certain point, he's just put the fear in him. Every time Agilities comes in, he comes in at him with that deflect. That means deflect is down now for him already.
Graviton being used by both sides there, but that's a big Earthshatter coming out from Rib, really bringing it down. And the Pulse Bomb from Shore4 gets Nomi and Burbo. Now Rib's going to try and chase on towards Hyped, but he has not enough time to get onto the point. And there it is, 0-3 for C9 on Lijiang Tower. They pick the pool, they say, we're now going to show you up, and they get the 3-0 in their second King of the Hill map in the pool. Slasher, how do you, I guess, justify this academically now, seeing such different C9 and Mortals between these two maps?
That was a salty run back. Mitch, I know you're not from the fighting game community, but you may not understand that, but that was a salty run back coming out from Cloud9 there. I mean, they did exactly what they needed to. I think they played the Mei triple tank much better. They even forced Immortals to run the dive comp on the last round, which I don't really think was the right move to make, and it didn't really work out for them. And now Cloud9 has evened things up. So I think if Immortals had even won a round or two and pushed Cloud9 to the edge on Nepal, Cloud9 might be second-guessing themselves going into the rest of the series. But now that Cloud9 won that 3-0, after Immortals 3-0, I think we're back into an even series going.
All right, so apparently everyone is frozen here. Hopefully I'm still online. All right, you guys appear to be back.
I'm lagging, aren't I? Am I good now?
Yes, you are. Now you're good.
I think you're back.
Seriously,
I was just thinking here, I'm looking here on the production side, I'm like, well, I don't think I've gone offline, but every face here has frozen, so worst case scenario, you guys just, hold your looks. I sit here and talk about the next map in the series, but just remind everyone, this is a best out of 5, 1-1 right now. This has been great to watch, and now I'm gonna just slink into the shadows.
Oh, we like having you here, like the Homer Simpson meme, right? Back into the bush.
Slunk out.
I don't know. I've got the AU PC, boys. I'm going to be honest about it. But let's see here. Eichenwalde now. A little bit of a change of pace, a little bit of change of scenery for us as well, going on towards this map now. Any surprises to see Immortals pick this map at this stage? Do you think they're happy on this one?
Immortals has picked this map several times throughout the last few weeks, so I kind of think that they have a good shot of winning here on Eichenwalde. They've been running triple tank with either McCree or Soldier. Reality has preferred to play McCree this entire time. That's probably where they're gonna be staying on. It's up to Cloud9 on what they want to do. We haven't seen them play on this map as much. They've tried some cute things on defense on the maps they haven't practiced or scrimmed as much as they have in matches. Interested to see what they pull out here on defense. Maybe they'll say standard triple tank, or maybe we'll see a Torb or some type of other nonsense.
What about Sombra, guys? What about it? What do you think? Is Nomi just pulling the... well, he's obviously good for the Reinhardt player, of course, but... I mean, we have seen this from Complexity on this particular map here. Do you really think it's just them?
It is. More teams should be doing it. More teams should be abusing Sombra when they're not.
Okay, well, C9 have the cute setup we talked about before. It's going to be Mendo on the Torbjorn, Adam on the Mercy here. So still double support. Rolf will be there. And they're going to have Shore4 and the Soldier 76 now. How do we feel about that singing on Dorado and the previous series, guys? Was it solid enough, or is this a big risk?
I don't think Torb has been solid enough to consistently pick him, but apparently Mendo is very comfortable running Torb. He runs it on first and second points on certain maps. We'll see if it works out here, but I think when you know 100% you're running into a diva who just hard counters Torb, it's not the greatest idea, but we'll see. They're going to try to roll with it. If they can keep themselves alive to maybe get some value off of Molten Core, it could be worth it.
Oh, I love that fast push play coming out here as well from Immortals, but it might not be enough here because the damage coming through. Wolf, again, on the scoreboard, he finds Grim Reality, but now it's getting turned around a little bit. It should be a 2v2. It was a turret taking down by Agilities, but still, that's important to get rid of now as Nomi did manage to get towards Kai. Not the charge he was looking for, though. Backing away now, Rib with the shield up in front, again, forcing Immortals back out. It's time for them to regroup.
Now the turret keeps going down, so if that turret is down, not in level 2, it will not become a level 3 Molten Core turret. He's going to put it in the house. That's how afraid he is of getting it killed. So they are able to roll and get a first kill on Adam. Adam was on Mercy. The first wave of fights got taken out very early, now on a Lucio, and they continue to clean up as they're pulling it in here.
Good decision making by Nomi. Goes straight for the turret while he had the nano boost. He knew he could shrug off the damage, and he knew that Mendo was probably close to a Molten Core. So that was well played by him. And Immortals just waltzed onto the point there. Shore4 eventually gets headshot by Grim Reality. And just execution style, I guess. And Adam will try and get onto the point. He's flashed as soon as he hits the ground, and this is such good responses from Immortals. Every time someone from the side of C9 even dares to set foot on the point, they get CC'd and killed in one hit.
Well, I guess the good thing is that it bought Mendo time to set up so that those 2 seconds where his turret was alive really mattered, as he gets taken out and his turret gets taken out as well. He had Molten Core at the ready. He was just far forward, didn't get anything off it. And Mendo is now onto a more useful hero in D.Va. This Torb has just not done anything the last 2 days.
You're going to upset Slash if you keep bad-mouthing Torbjorn, right? I made that mistake
Put the
already.
pirate hat on him. Put the pirate hat on Slasher again. It's just done nothing. I'm sorry. I deal with the objective reality of Torb not doing anything in these games.
That was a really nice charge there from the backside from Hype. He knocked both tanks off the high ground. He doesn't force the engagement out of Cloud9. Had to drop down. Transcendence was also used, and now Nomi has yet another Earth Shatter, but he doesn't connect it. And has the mana boost, needs to make use of it, so he charges forward to get in range to get that damage down. He's taken down by Mendo, though. That D.Va getting up close and personal to Reinhardt on his home ground will be sent back to spawn, and Mendo able to slip away with a rocket boost.
Yeah, the first fight that Cloud9 won, it was without a Torbjorn. Coincidence? You make your own judgments. Rolf got really far in the back line there. He was lucky to get out, so they're going to just reassess here on the high ground. Unfortunately, they don't have any ultimates to use, so they're just going to hold the high ground, but they're giving up a lot of free push on this cart here. They can't really jump down and fight. They're going to have to at some point, but they're jumping in Soundberry.
Oh, nicely done by Flash. Goes in over the top, and Kai and Shawfor, excuse me, being taken down by that self-destruct. A good opening to the fight there as well. Eventually, Immortals were going to have to receive some sort of fight from the side of C9, and they responded perfectly, just laying the self-destruct in wait. And C9 had to engage eventually. They couldn't let the payload advance for free, and this is pretty fast-paced stuff here for Immortals now. They're going to be rounding the last bend before the last point, and look at Agility. He's going deep, trying to get an early hook and force a 65. Great biotic grenade there used by Eichenwalde towards Agility to keep him alive. I mean, Immortals looking like a well-oiled machine so far in this match.
Yeah, they've had the ult advantage several times. This self-destruct's going to come in over the top, but too far over the top. They use an Earth Shatter here, trying to get something done. Mendo finally gets a couple kills. I think that was Bunny Blaster D.Va, must have been, as he gets it going. They are fighting 3v3 on the card. Agility has to be careful. He's discorded a beautifully patient Earth Shatter from Nomi, but no follow-up for it so far.
Yeah, Agility jumps off the edge there as well. I don't know if he thought the fight was done, or if he's trying to make the little platform, but I don't think he can even jump that far.
This is what happened also on Sanctum when he jumped off too. Like, he reset, and chat's telling us, oh, he was going to reset anyway. The fight wasn't necessarily super over when he reset. Agility's is on his own agenda as far as when he thinks a fight is over. That's twice now that they kind of could have brought it back. He jumped off by himself, so... interesting. It's not the worst case scenario. They have it pretty far, but the problem is now they're going to be pushing into a Cloud9 team that has more ults than they do, and that's been a rare case so far.
Yeah, and the Graviton comes in there as well, so all of Immortals pushing into that fight. Good biotic grenade, but Shawfor gets himself 2 kills for the Deadeye now, hunting down Hype. The flash doesn't quite connect to him. Meanwhile, Mendo charging through. A lot of damage available to him, and why did we see this D.Va beforehand? This is working out so well for Mendo. Instead of that Roadhog now, obviously it's a Roadhog-less C9. They're using the Zai here, and it's working out.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely working out for them so far. Not a whole lot of progress being made on that last push for Immortals. It looks like they're going to try to take a different angle. This becomes very difficult on Eichenwalde. Do you want to just rush through the castle and get dropped on from above because you're getting up that high ground? Do you want to walk all the way around the sides? Do you take this high ground and fight up top? That looks like the option that they're going for right now.
Well, Mendo tries to knock some people off the bridge, but he can't quite get them through the parapets, and now he has to back away behind Kid. He wanted to come forward, or at least it looked like he did, but now Nomi getting the nano boost. He's in a terrible position to do damage to multiple people, but he might get Mendo here as he charges him up against the wall. But then he puts himself way away from his team, a little bit out of position. Hyped finds Wolf, though. That's important. Still, a lot of players for C9 are ready here to defend. Now Nomi gets back, though, and he gets back in a big way. 3-man Earth Shatter coming through, charge in. Adam goes down. Shawfor managed to get towards Aethan, but that will be the second checkpoint reached here. 2 minutes 29 on the clock here for Immortals to finish.
It's a nice way to deal with the defense in an entrenched position, is you start splitting up your team so that they have to split up to respawn. They threw their D.Va over to the cart, gave the Lucio some help over there too. That forced a response out of Cloud9. They had to send a couple over there, then they started making a little more chaotic, a little more segmented fight, making them fight off the top bridge and getting them out of the entrenched position. Able to win that fight was Immortals.
Now I'm backing up a little bit here as well. They realize they're not really in great shape. They're not missing too many players. They're all here. Now the wall comes in. Mischarge coming out there from Rip, forcing him back a little bit more. And agility's for the sound barrier and the whole hog. He's coming forward. A lot of ultimates being used here. I don't blame you if you can't follow this action, but it was a Deadeye in the back. Important one there for Surefour. Managing to get a lot of health away, especially from Hype on that deep. He's been desuited. Agility's is very, very deep in the mix. Double tank pushing towards him now. Hard pressed to stay alive, to be sure. Nomi on the payload there. Shield very, very low. Hype is going to try and back up here. And this aggression on the defensive side for C9 is going to give them some time to breathe. A bit of a reprieve as well, as it will be Immortals backing out the castle.
Well, 1 minute and about 15 seconds remaining for Immortals to try to push this final point. It is such a difficult point to reestablish entrance, and I suppose now that you have a couple tanks, it's not as bad, but two of them come in, they get walled off immediately. Nomi gets taken down, perhaps. No, Nomi somehow lives through that, gets the beast at the end, and they completely, like, displaying a great Maywall.
Yeah, completely turned that fight. Nomi got nano boosted and healed up a heck of a lot. Aethan is very, very good at making sure that if he's going to follow up with a nano boost, there's always going to be the biotic grenade thrown on top to give the extra healing, the extra durability. And now C9 pushing together. There is a group, and that is a big advantage for them. But look, Immortals are ready for them now. War comes up, and Kai on the mate here. It doesn't last very long. Agility takes him down. Adam trying to dominate the high ground, and Rivers a little bit out of position here. A bit on his own. Surefour trying to go from a Deadeye from way back in the cloisters. Can't get anything. There's a bit of a tight angle for him. And now it's a mess on the payload. I'll be honest, it's just a mess. It's a 5-man sound barrier here for the side of Immortals. They're going to push forward. No one from C9 is really getting there. Desperately, Kai throws himself onto the payload for some stall. Adam also does the same here. But an Earth Shadow will secure this one. Blizzard comes out. Adam gets off the payload. No. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't probably going to win that fight, but getting down the next 11 seconds would have been nice for them to push it into overtime. I thought that Blizzard might do that at the very end, but the play of the game right there is when they get locked out, they only get 3 inside the wall. The Maywall does exactly what you want it to do on last point of Eichenwalde, and they still keep those 3 alive. I had already called Nomi dead at that point in time, but you're right. Aethan saved his life twice over at least, able to bring that back, and from there, the kill feed turned all red, all Immortals.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Blizzard sort of use on that payload towards the end, but the problem was it was just Kai and Adam remaining. Now, if you're Immortals and you are literally a hair's breadth away from finishing, the Blizzard doesn't really do much to dissuade you away from just hanging around, because you know the rest of C9's reinforcements are going to be a while to come.
I mean, for me, Cloud9, that's more on Cloud9 running Torb and Mercy on defense again. And it not really working out. If they didn't do that and they win one team fight on first point hold, which is probably one of the hardest points to get through on offense, Immortals doesn't even complete the match. So I think part of it is Cloud9 trying some few things. It worked a little bit better on Dorado, and maybe Torb will still work here. But we've seen it be okay on first point Eichenwalde, but it didn't in that situation. And I think that was probably the biggest thing for Cloud9.
It's just like, whether you're effective or not is so conditional as that Torbjorn as well. Turret placement, to the team ready for it? Do you get a molten core? Whereas if you play something else like a Mei or something, it's like your effectiveness is only conditional on whether you are bad or not, right? At this level, I always feel like it's a more safer choice to go for something like a Mei or something else that is always going to be able to have an impact regardless of, do I get my ultimate? Do I stay alive? Do we hold the points the first time? I can understand that the payback you do get if your Torbjorn hangs around long enough, you can put a solid defense. But anyway, Hex, let's jump in here. It is going to be Mendo on the Genji here, Surefour on the McCree.
Yeah, Surefour's McCree is high tier, so is Mendo's Genji. It's not necessarily kind of what you would expect to see run here, just running a single flanker. We'll see if Mendo can really get to the back line to cause trouble. They also boost in and take this fight, but this is an aggressive defense, goes right at him.
Yeah, again, both teams going for this attack that involves running through with the Reinhardt shield. No Maze in the game, I guess, so no one's worrying about sort of waiting on the other side of that first choke. Kai goes in, does get hooked, but then throws up the defense matrix immediately here. Hype trying to do the same thing. He actually catches Adam on his way through there. Very clever. I don't know if he collided with him in mid-air, but Immortals looking decent on this defense. Mendo is able to unsuit Hype, so that's about all that Cloud9 are getting so far in this fight.
And that's generally how the first blade of Eichenwalde goes for the defense. When you're running 6 actual heroes, it works out really well for you. Sorry, I'm done.
No, don't get me wrong, but I appreciate the fire here. I mean, I have to see that there's a place for things like Torb and Symmetra here, but When you got
I love Torvitz, but no one loves Symmetra more than I, but I understand why people don't play her right now. I get it, and as good as Mendo is, he was just unable to make that Torb work, and I have to agree with Slapshot. That 10 seconds ended up really costing him. That's 10 seconds you were almost guaranteed if you run anything else. Anyway, still holding on the defense here, but Cloud9 right now in a really good position with all the short takes a really cheeky high ground up. Gets spotted out by Hype, though. Hype actually gets charged.
Yeah, going to be Earthshatter coming over the top here as well. The self-destruction, I say, doesn't catch anyone. A Shortfall still has pole position. Gets a little flash on the wall type, but then is finally forced down the corridor. But Mendo had found Nomi and Ethan already in that fight, working through the Hunter's Lodge. And his point now halfway taken for C9. They should be able to finish it off here. Even Agility's realizing that he's a little bit low on health. Can't even de-suit Kai being forced back and taken down. Adam, the one with the killing blow.
Able to snowball their ult advantage into a first fight one. Short4 and Adam with their ults up as well. It'll be interesting to see if Mendo sticks on this Genji. It's been effective enough getting to the backline, causing a little bit of chaos. But it's not a hero that we see generally run a whole lot on Eichenwalde, especially past first point.
All right. We're going to see Immortals now set up on the castle. This is pretty standard, I think it's safe to say. And there's been no real hero switches for them. Grim Reality still playing up on that McCree, and you could say the same for C9 here. They're going to play the Genji McCree still. Eyes on Mendo. He tried a bit of a cheeky flank earlier on, didn't get much for it, and look at this, the fight starting here. Self-destruct thrown in, and a Deadeye being used. Still, Mendo gets caught by it. He was trying to find the backline, but Grim Reality catches him anyway. And Kai in a 1v1 with Agility's not going to end well. Gets de-suited. Another struck comes out here though, catches no one in particular. Back and forth stuff, but Grim Reality and Ethan still have the high ground control. Nomi charges out of danger. Not getting any healing for the moment as Ethan preoccupied on doing damage for the moment. We'll see now C9 group up and the payload is still moving.
Yeah, they've had this high ground control, but they're not really getting a ton of damage done with it. Maybe they're not focusing the same target. Maybe the targets are just in a good spot. Adam was hugging that cart pretty close. Mendo's going to come up and cause a little bit of chaos up to them, and that's giving them a lot of free push. Gets them over the more perilous part on the other side of the bridge, and now Cloud9 has to, or actually Immortals has to decide. They have to go fight. They can't just sit up there the whole time.
Yeah, and they're a long way from the payload here as well, so it's a risky engagement. And Rib catches him out with the Earthshatter. But a good response from Nomi. He gets the Earthshatter, he nails it, and he nails Rib to the wall there. They'll be brawling one-on-one for a little while here, but the real story is Mendo. 2 kills for him in that fight, and again it's Shortfall to follow up there. They're fighting in the defender's spawn there on the first point, and they make it happen. Adam gets 2, and they're going to get that second checkpoint. Hex, a lot of time to play with here.
They're going very quickly right now. Looks really good for Cloud9, and I will say Mendo, he got kills. The highlight for Mendo for me was just taking that high ground, jumping in their face, and hitting the deflect. It bought them about 3 seconds of chaos in Immortals as they didn't know how to deal with Mendo, if Mendo was going to come in or go out, and that got them out of position on the high ground, gave them the free push under the bridge, and it put Immortals in a really rough spot of when they had to go fight. It seemed like the card had already gone past them.
Yeah, no, it did. It had, and they were forced to run a long way to engage now. The door's going to come down, and so is Nomi. He flattens Rib like a pancake up against the wall. A good start to the fight. But Shortfall and Mendo are there. Mendo, such a big impact in these fights. He found Nomi. He got the finish at least with the Swift Strike. And now it still seems like C9 are taking a brief break. Just backing up for a moment, getting healthy. But Ethan catches Shortfall inside the little tunnel before he can get through. This doesn't seem to be stopping C9, though, as Mendo's still on the front line. And they've got a self-destruct going in. Who's going to be caught?
Oh!
Beautiful. Taken down. Now we have a 6v4, and that payload is rocking towards the end of the map with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
The last 30 seconds were so important too. Had Immortals been able to win that fight, then it's really hard to re-engage once that door had closed to get back into that fight there. So really nice for Cloud9 to be patient, to get out of the fight when they needed to go heal up, as you called it. Beautiful dive by Kai onto the Deadeye in the back lines. Grim Reality does take out Shortfall eventually. Now it's turning into a bit of a practice. Immortals is going to hold this.
Yeah, very, very close towards the end now as well. And C9 needs to be pretty quick at getting back inside this castle. Otherwise, if we see a fairly forward defense, oh, that's a beautiful hook. Wolf doesn't get away. But that's going to hurt. Because look at Kai. He's being stalled out as well in a big way. Defense matrix, he can't do anything. He's discorded. He's being blocked. Oh, that's so annoying. And that means another 10 seconds before C9 even have 6 men to work with.
Yeah, and you see them holding pretty far up here. I'm a little surprised they haven't switched over to a Mei, because I think she's just so amazing on this point in particular to cut off walls, although it didn't work out ideally for Cloud9 last time. They're going to pretty much let them in for free, which is a little bit of an issue there. They're going to have to back out towards the cart here is Immortals. 2 minutes for Cloud9 to be able to finish this map.
I'm surprised we don't see any switch towards May here from Immortals.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. It could work quite nicely for them here as well, especially defending at this stage. But a sound barrier is going to come in, Hex. We're going to see a self-destruct go over the top and catch no one there. Good evasion coming out from the side of C9. Earthshatter does land, though, and Nomi's in the backline causing a big ruckus on his own. He's looking for Mendo, but he's going to be frozen up here. Tough to get out of that one.
Well, Nomi actually walls off and gets the run back charge onto Mendo. Short 4 takes out 8th, and there are fights going on all over the place, but that was just hilarious. Nomi is still in the back line. No one knew he was there. He swings the hammer through. Short 4 does die eventually, but should have died 2 minutes ago with 2 less kills.
This is really nice, actually, from Immortals. It's like they're starting to build even a bit of a head of steam on this last point. The fact that Nomi kills Mendo in that case is a bit humorous, actually. He was frozen up, but does manage to flatten him in the end. And there's about a minute to go. So C9 have a lot of ultimates to work with. Conditionally, though, they need to stick. They really need to land these ones. The Earthshatter, especially. Deadeye in from the backside here. We'll see if that's going to be connected. Grim Reality hoping for a couple targets, but finds absolutely none.
Well, Short 4 dived him, and last time Short 4 did that, he ended up paying for his life against that ult, but this time the recall was there for Short 4 to get out and bait out that ultimate. The Blizzard's going to come down on the offense. That is Mendo. He does freeze Nomi yet again, but the Transcendence from Ethan keeping everyone alive. Counter Transcend now coming in, keeping most of Cloud9 extremely healthy as they start to pick up a kill or 2 of their own. That is 2 kills that they need. You have to kind of full wipe here on last point Eichenwalde to be able to take it.
Yeah, the stall's going to be real here for Immortals if they get a chance to come back in. And Hype is buying a lot of time. Eventually going to be desuited, but Verbo's also up from that point there. And finally someone responds to Grim Reality up on the top side. That's Short 4. Finds Nomi with the Pulse Bomb. Grim Reality gets Mendo, but falls straight after. And now it's a Sombra on the point. Agility's trying to stall it out for as long as they can. And now Ethan on the point. In fact, the time break is actually going to favor the side of Immortals here. 7 seconds left. Still Verbo on the point. This is great stall. This is epic stall, in fact, now. The fact that now Nomi getting back onto the point, there's multiple players, a self-destruct. That's big. Who will it catch? No one, though. Hype doesn't find anyone for it, and now C9 tries their life with a self-destruct. Still no one for them either. It's going to be the Sombra back on the point, quickly taken down. Ethan again stalling in that May ice block. He should fall. He gets launched up with his own wall there, and finally C9 get it done. But there will be no time bank remaining for them here. Very, very funny the way that Immortals managed to hold off there, and that is the nature of stall in this game, especially on last point Eichenwalde.
Yeah, they stall it forever. Difference ends up only being 11 seconds, though, as the overtime did come down. So, 1 point first push here. I think, let's see, who's going to be on the offense?
It'll be a draw,
first?
to be honest.
Yeah, probably. It seems like that is the most likely of situations.
We'll see.
There's going to be Cloud9 on the offense first, so they are going to go with the offense that they just ran. I'm actually curious to see what Cloud9 wants to run on their defense after the Torb, but you know, it's honestly under a minute. I don't hate the Torb on defense.
Well, honestly, no. If for a minute, if you want to hold one push, like,
yeah,
that's actually okay in my opinion. You give yourself a shadow 7th man essentially. So eventually, you know, if you can pull something out that the enemy team needs time to respond to, like, as in they can't take on first push, then I'm okay with it.
Right. So yeah, Eichenwalde, both teams able to complete it, which is somewhat of a rarity. That last point can give teams all sorts of fits, but Maywald not coming in on the defense from one side, Maywald not being effective on the other side is kind of what made the teams allow it, but definitely a better stall for Immortals there. So Mendo did get off of that Genji, which he did pretty well on the Genji. I was a little surprised at it, but he made it work. Mendo, a talented player in a whole lot of things. We're going to go for the Roadhog. I mean, essentially this is going to be which Roadhog gets the first pick.
Yeah, I agree. And also getting hooks before the enemy Reinhardt shield is down is also massive, especially when time is of the essence here. And if you're Cloud9, it absolutely is. The sand does drop through. In fact, we'll have Hex looking at his pocket watch as well. That is how serious it is. Gonna press forward. Nomi on the charge, bounces off the wall, hits a flash and he goes down. This is a good start from C9. Getting rid of Nomi early is very, very fit. Taikai needs to be careful though. He was low. There was a biotic grenade, and oh, that's a beautiful hook on towards Short 4 on the outside of the point. But Verbo suffers a similar fate there. Mendo finds him, and Mendo's been huge in this so far. Already, this point's being taken, and it does appear that, yes, Immortals are going to struggle to get back on towards this point in time, and Agility's just hoping he's going to get more from that, but we find Mendo, not the target he wanted, he's pulling him away. And Hyped on his own on the point here. Transcendence comes out. It might be a point taken here for C9. In fact, it very much should with how long it is to walk, but the reinforcements are on the way.
Reinforcements, but they are going to be slow coming here, and they are picking up kill after kill. Agility is the only one in the kill feed for Immortals as Short 4 continues his reign of terror. They will grab this first point, and now sticking on the cart. We'll see how far they can push it. This could end up being a deciding factor as well, as we saw how good Immortals was on their first push on offense too. So really, how far they can get it in this overtime period might be a decider of who wins this map.
I really would have, honestly, a May on that first point hold for Immortals would have been good, right? You're only going to hold off a couple pushes, right? One ball halfway through an advancing team can win you a team fight there and then. It's not even that high risk, so I have to question the lack of May we're seeing right now, and I'd love to talk to maybe Slasher afterwards, get his thoughts on it. But anyway, here comes the fight again. It's all about getting C9 off that point and making sure they don't make any progress, but that self-destruct finds nothing. Memory finds agility, now the sound barrier for C9. This is looking good.
It's looking great for them as Short4 is off of the Tracer, but his terror continues on McCree as he picks up 3 in a row for the Cowboy Killer. 4 now, as Short4 is putting on a masterclass in McCree. I would tend to agree with you. I think May was a 100% pick on this map for a long time, and teams have gotten away from her, so I'm interested to see exactly why that is, too, especially for this kind of first point hold. But they are making enormous progress here, all in overtime here. Their setting is such a distance that it's going to be tough for Immortals to beat. Immortals has to stop it here, because I can't imagine they're going to be able to beat second point.
Self-destruct comes in. Oh, what was that? Grimaldi goes to the edge, and with a big old boot there, sends him flying. And that's a pretty darn good start as well. Getting rid of that McCree at the start of the fight may well be the paper you need to go forward. Agilities is in the back line of C9 right now, and he did manage to find Shore4, but it's more work to be done. And the bulk of C9 are together up on this point. Mendoza got very slow and has himself a biting grenade. Doby gets set off the edge. Have a seat. Adam getting the boots. His second of the fight. First to McCree, then a Reinhardt. Oh, Kai and Rip though very close. They get booted down by Kai survives, but this should be C9 finally getting whittled down. But they have made such massive progress here.
It's a really impressive push for Cloud9, and for 1 minute on Eichenwalde to get it about 15 meters from second point. That might not be correct. I'm not used to meters. About what, 50 feet from the point. That's about 15 meters anyway. So yeah, really well done there.
All right,
let's
talk about that May Slasher.
Yeah, what's up with May?
Well, two things. I was going to mention before the second run through, even though that the first attack went pretty well for Cloud9, Mendo and Genji, they didn't win the point until the second or third team fight. So going Roadhog, as we saw, was a much better way for Cloud9 to run that. And as for May, yeah, it's still really good. I'm surprised that teams aren't running it more, especially considering triple tank is so prevalent right now. And you know Immortals is going to run it, so it looks like right now Shore4 is going to be running May. This is the right call to make. Not only was the Torb Mercy kind of thing, you know, I can see an experiment for Cloud9, but really not only that was the wrong call, going May here is the right call. Cloud9's going to feel pretty good about this.
To have the the confirmation there from Slasher, it just seemed a bit strange, given that I guess that, you know, you do have D.Va now, but D.Va was the only hero in the team composition for C9 that could circumvent a May wall. So you still can cut off the majority of the team. Okay, if you only isolate a D.Va, she can get away, but you can isolate a Reinhardt, just wreck him. You'll win the team fight there and then here, and it's going to put so much pressure on a team with only 1 minute. Let's see, though. Immortals going to have to be pretty darn fast, and that's only the first start of their uphill climb here.
Yeah, the only
giving a lot of room.
Yeah, that wall comes in kind of an interesting angle. He puts it up vertically there, just kind of put it in lanes. You generally put it all the way to block up the door, so that's going to let them in. A flashbang over the shield on Rib gets Rib in a bad position as he gets hooked out. Surprisingly, lives longer than he should have, though, but agilities will notch the first kill for Immortals on their offense.
I've been a little bit critical of Shore4 tonight and his May. I don't think that's out of that wall. I definitely think he wanted it from left to right. But anyway, now it's looking good for Immortals in this first fight. They're pushing onto the point, and honestly, C9 don't have a chance to stall this really at all. They've got no one in the locale. They're not even going to bother trying here, so things are looking okay for Immortals now. 20 seconds on the clock and counting down. They're not even in overtime yet, so they can make some decent progress here. But they'll be in a similar position. They'll be in overtime when the next fight starts anyway.
I mean, I used the caster talk for interesting there on that May wall as he put it vertically instead of sideways. I think that's just got to be a misclick at some point, right? I mean, there's no good reason
double
to put
tap
a
that
vertical wall there.
key, man. Well, Let's see. Let's just see if it's all part of a bigger plan. I don't really know if I believe that, but Shore4 again, looking for a wall. He needs to win a fight here and there. That's a much better wall. He gets Hyper and Agility's caught out on their own now. When a whole Hulk is going to be coming in from Agility's, but it's frozen. He gets nothing from it. But in reality, and Agility's actually, he did find Mendo with that one, so I did misspeak. Self-destruct comes in. The Divas are taking each other down, and Wolf is desperately trying to heal his team up here. But it's only Adam and Kaikai, and they get Earth-Shattered down here. Kaikai, no chance of getting up and actually getting back to his seat there. He's going to be taken down. Look at this. Wolf, way out of position here, falling.
Yeah.
Now, and there's about 60 meters to go.
Rolf is good, but not 1v6 good, unfortunately. So that is a dead Zenyatta there. We're going to see where they want to posture up here. It looks like they're just waiting to get their full 6. They're going to be very cautious on here. They might want to try to roll up over top, but I think that time has passed. Your high ground hold is over. Nope, never mind. They're going to go high ground, but this is an interesting decision. This is where, yeah, this is where Immortals found themselves in trouble before.
I mean, they can't split Immortals, or Immortals split voluntarily, I guess, to deal if they drop over the backside of Rip. But it doesn't work. Rip goes down, Adam goes down. Oh, I can't believe this is actually happening right now. Soundbarrier comes in there for Verbo and Grim Reality with a Dead Eye from the top side. He finds Wolf. Wolf goes down. Hype takes down Mendo as well. And Kaikai's caught in the mix. He's between the payload and the hammer, and that's not good. He's going to gets these units, and Cloud9 have thrown it away. It will be able to take the map there, get that last checkpoint, and take it away. 2-1.
Final score.
What on? It was their map pick, to be honest, but C9 looks so good after their round in extra time.
I mean, okay, look, you can talk about the first run through, and if Cloud9 doesn't run Mercy Torb on defense, they probably win the map. But they put themselves in the best possible position in the OT session on their offensive run to get it all the way to the bridge. And then, you know, you guys mentioned it, but you got to put some of that on Shore4 there. You put the Maywall up in the right position, and you at least get some type of trade in. They got no trades on that first fight. That led to snowball ult percentage to go towards Immortals' way. And at that time, there's nothing that really Cloud9 could do. And now Immortals is up 2-1, and Cloud9 is on the ropes.
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to be said there as well. We pointed out, obviously, the May episode there from Shore4, but should we have seen a high ground engage from C9 in that last fight, or should they just been safe and played the low ground with the Reinhardt?
Well, the high ground engage came across. I already, just calling the game, said that probably not the best idea to be doing it, but then also they got spotted out trying to rotate high ground. You could see that Immortals saw them coming over the top and then put 3 back behind the bridge, waiting for them to drop down. Yeah, so they were going to put them between the team and kind of rock and hard place them, and that's exactly what they did. They got 2 kills off of it because they split off their Roadhog, and they had no idea where that Roadhog was because they saw it coming. So really good response from Immortals overall. I won't put that one entirely on Cloud9 because it could have worked coming over the top, but Immortals just with a great response to it ended up getting the first 2 kills there. And then 4v6, I mean, Cloud9's got a lot of talent on that team, but it takes more than just talent to overcome 4v6 in a lot of situations.
I love that response. That real quick response from Immortals there to voluntarily split their team and go for a bit of a trash compactor move on C9 as they drop down. Really, really nice stuff. So, I mean, Slasher, anything to add here, or do you want to move on to talk about Hollywood?
I mean, I think just to add slightly, this is the impact, as you can see more with the lowered ult charges across the board, that if you do not trade at least 1 or 2 players, you will not have any ults for any of your players going to the 3rd or even 4th team fight because you just didn't do enough damage. And then if you don't do that, it's just very hard to stop the card, especially when you go in these OT situations. Cloud9 needs to get at least 1 or 2 kills during that first point or the beginning of the second point.
Wow. Shall we now adjourn ourselves to having a look at how Hollywood's going to play? I mean, you already gave us a little bit of a teaser there as well. So, I mean, we've seen what Mendo can play. We know what's in his pool. Can we expect a Hanzo pick play from them here? I know he also plays a Roadhog, so I don't know if that works so well for them, but something akin to what we sort of see from teams like NIP could be nice here.
I swear to God, I was going to say he was going to run Genji here, and I think he might, because they've been having good success with a single flanker. Shore4 has just been playing the McCree so well. I would not be surprised to see Shore4 actually run onto Tracer here, but it looks like they want to go with a kind of a halfway dive composition, which I like, to just kind of take control of Cafe or take control of high ground and really get to the back line. So I think Mendo will actually run this Genji here.
Halfway
The Hanzo
dive.
comp
What do you mean?
actually, I think, works pretty well for Cloud9, but they, as Hex mentioned, they have tended to run this 2-2-2 dive style with McCree and Genji for most of the maps, and maybe they're just trying to practice this approach.
I mean, yeah, you could put Shore4 on Roadhog and Mendo on Hanzo, but I digress. I mean, Hex, tell me about this half dive. I mean, what do you like about it? Obviously, it's not the full cadre. It's only the Winston Genji.
Well, I mean, there's like 4 levels of dive, right? Like you just get one hero, like just a Winston going in to mess things up. You get one in a flanker. That's what we're seeing now, which is you get Winston and a Genji going in together. If you want to commit more, you throw a Tracer in, and you want to commit super commit like a Numbani dive, then you throw in a Diva as well. So I like it generally because you want to take over this high ground, and it's gonna help out Shore4 win the McCree duel because Grim Reality will very likely be sitting in Cafe. Well, one of the reasons I like doing a dive every single time on Hollywood, or at least a partial dive, or at least something that can get to the Cafe, is because I think it's one of the better spots where you're going to run into a DPS for a team that generally is running a single DPS as a Soldier 76 or Grim Reality on a McCree here. If you can take out that DPS, you're in a great position to win the fight.
Well, let's see if it works out that way, Hex. That's the real question here. That quasi-dive, we'll call it, I guess, is going to be in effect in just a moment here. Already the Winston goes in. It's Kaikai who drops straight on down, but not a great fight at all here for C9. Already losing Riv and Wolf at the start. Mendo's already flanked well around, and Shore4 does well to avoid the hooks coming in here. That's going to force Agilities to back away and try and take a breather, but Shore4 chases him. The charge comes in for Nomi, and now Shore4's just playing out of position.
Yeah, this has turned very chaotic very quickly. I think Kaikai's initial jump wasn't all that great. Mendo gets to the backline, though, and shuts down Grim, who was looking to reinforce. That is a huge pick for them as they get their reinforcements a little bit quicker on the offense. Kaikai is on this Diva now instead of the Winston. I think that is a nice switch as well, just a little bit stronger as they're going to be trying to reinforce and throwing at them.
My God, that was a great pick off from Mendo there as well. Getting rid of that McCree, but now it will be an attempt for Immortals to try and keep this one going now. They're going to leap upon this point eventually. They'll let a lot of progress go. But now Nomi, normally the one to get that down, he's going to be charged by Riv. He puts him up against the wall, and Riv forced into a battle, and he wins it out there as well with the help of Wolf. Nicely done. And now Mendo, still up in the air, had found Ethan early in the fight. Kaikai gets himself 2 quick kills as it's Immortals forced to push into the Diva, and he just shreds him.
One of the reasons I really like this Genji too is Immortals has shown a propensity to split up and start making fights chaotic. Yeah, they split up and it was a good response on Eichenwalde, but even before that, they have gone towards a style where they want to be going on to 2v2s, 1v1s, and Genji is the ultimate 1v1er in my opinion, and he's able to get to the backline, deal with Grim Reality right away, and then they're just so much lacking DPS in this tank composition that the DPS is always going to be stronger. I really love the Genji pick. Not only is it probably a comfort pick for Mendo on these maps with some high ground, but he's just, it really plays against the style that Immortals has forced them into.
Oh, they almost run into an Earth Shatter there as well, but clever by Nomi to keep his shield up for the most part. However, Riv going to be able to catch out Hype and pick him up as he does get desuited, and this is very, very fast moving for C9. They haven't really been stopped here, and Nomi's forced to use his Earth Shatter against Mendo, who is threatening his support, and he's still found him anyway. Ethan goes down. Nomi only gets 1 kill, and that was Wolf for the Earth Shatter. Not always a worthwhile trade when you need it on multiple targets to halt C9 moving forward.
Yeah, and somehow Immortals is doing it, but just look at where everyone is, even during these fights. Agilities was up top, Nomi was alone at the bottom. They're split up all over the place, so even though they're not able to take advantage of it there, it's definitely something that Cloud9 has noticed and is trying to take advantage of. These split off kind of pushes that they're doing. Mendo's going to be taking the high ground here. He's Discord. We're going to wait for the rest of his team, but we're going to see some ults coming in. Who can get the better self-destruct might be an interesting factor here. So far, Hype has been nailing them all day. Kai has one at the ready too. Hollywood's a great stage for it, going up over these buildings, really confusing teams with it.
Well, especially if enemy teams are trying to take high ground as well. You can force them off just by lobbing a self-destructing mech over the top here. Hype has got himself in a flanking position here, and Rib gets hooked by Agilities into that fight here. And this is it, the flanking self-destruct coming in, pioneered by Nicholas from his complexity, doesn't get anything. And Mendo goes in with a Dragon Blade, but we do see Ethan get that Transcendence down. Shore4 is going to be pinned by Hype and taken down with a close range there. It's Mendo towards Ethan, but it's traded out. Verbo finds him, and Kaikai realizes he was on his own and is going to back up with the rest of C9.
thought they could have still gotten that there. I think Mendo's Dragon Blade, even though it didn't get kills, it forced out Transcendence, but more importantly, it forced both supports to stay so far back. The other tanks were somewhat exposed there, and Cloud9 did not necessarily capitalize on it. I thought they had enough horses to continue that fight, to continue that push. Right now, it's just hype sitting around, but at a certain point, they really have to take advantage of the fact that Immortals almost refuses to fight a 6.
Yep, they love splitting up here, and if C9 can actually stay together and prevent themselves from being split in that way, then they should be fine, but so far it's been tricky. You can see Hook's missing from Endo, but Agility stuff not missed. Delta Strike comes in. This time it's from C9. This time it gets killed.
Beautiful.
Both supports fall to Kaikai. Verbo and Ethan were not in a position to escape from the self-destruct coming in over the top, and now Wolf, he's one of the supports that is alive now, and look at the difference. 2 supports up versus 2 supports down. So much healing available, so much sustain for C9. They get through. They're going to get this second checkpoint now and have a decent bank of time to work with. Next 3 minutes 33.
I've always believed that losing the both of anything, especially when we're in much more of a 2-2-2 composition, was the worst thing that can happen to you in a fight. Losing both tanks, losing both DPS, and especially losing both supports means that fight is all but over. That self-destruct over the top is absolutely beautiful. Supports are actually probably most vulnerable to the self-destructs because, especially if you're playing a split as Immortals, that backline's going to be so vulnerable and you don't necessarily have the mobility to run away.
Well, we see Anna's die to it all the time. Ethan, there was no real way he can get away
Anna's
from a
sad.
full place one. And if Verbo is also healing his team, he can't speed boost out or he can't get himself out in time. So, something to consider. Now, one in the backline door of C9. This could be quite nasty here, but it doesn't connect yet again still. And C9 are going to punish for this one. Hype letting his neck go. He's going to get killed before he can get resuited now. And Kaikai again. Delta Strike doesn't find anything, but this time it gives a lot in terms of zoning. Look at this payload now, moving straight towards the end, the last cul-de-sac of the map.
Yeah, sometimes we use zoning alt sarcastically, but that is exactly what D.Va does, even when it's not perfect, and that opened up the entire hallway for him. Now they don't have to fight in a hallway, which is never ideal anyway. They're able to rotate around this right side. Mendo gets a kill. Agility's trying to bring it back a little bit. Those couple kills are absolutely crucial, and there it is, the pile-on. The late Earthshatter will close out this fight, and finally Immortal stabilizes.
Yeah, interesting shield position for Rib there. I'm not sure he had a side on there towards someone who was maybe in that little alcove, but Nomi jumped on that one as well. At least a 3-man Earth Shadow for him. And there's 2 minutes remaining here for C9 to press forward now. They've got their Earth Shadow of their own, but a lot of ultimates are here. Look at this for Immortals now. Deadeye, Whole Hog, Sound Barrier, Nano Boost.
Well, Cloud9 just wants to win a fight that, well, not even win a fight. They want to get a fight where Immortals has to use 3 of these. It's probably their best chance at it. 1:45 left on the clock. I don't feel it's a fight that they should win, but stranger things have happened.
Well, that's a nice little placement there of the D.Va Super. A little bit too much time to respond here for C9, and it was good from Adam to give them the speed boost they needed. So they don't suffer the wrath of D.Va this time, and they'll have all the players ready to regroup in. They've drawn 1 ultimate out of Immortals now, and we're even on bank. 3 apiece here. The Transcendence available for Wolf could be a big game changer now, especially when there are abilities like Whole Hog coming in.
Wolf's done a great job of killing people, but his Transcendence has also been on point tonight. That Earthshatter knocks down 2, but no one is there for the cleanup. I ran a little too far back. Here comes the Deadeye in an odd position. Shortboard trying to peek corners now.
Doesn't find much. No, it doesn't really get it. Transcendence used as well by Rolf in that fight. Does keep the team alive, but they don't get any kills as a result. Kaikai, though, he's doing some really good work right now. Let the self-destruct go in front of Immortal spawn. This means they're forced away from that position. They're forced onto the payload, actually, by that one. I don't even know if Kaikai realized how good that was, but it doesn't matter. 47 seconds in the time bank for C9. They get the map done. And weren't really held actually until towards the end of that second phase, which is normally where we expect it to be. The quasi-dive worked out, they got that first point quite fast, and then drew ults out 1 by 1. Rolf's Transcendence was important, as they wanted to keep pushing through the damage coming from Immortals.
Yeah, not to cast aspersions on our favorite DJ, but if you see a boosted Lucio at the end, it means that the Anna probably missed her primary target, which is what we saw at the end there. Who knows if that boost would have gone on to, I believe Nomi was the likely intended target there if things change a little differently, but it's as it was, went on to Verbo, and they were unable to hold the final points. Pretty decent push from Cloud9, able to actually finish the map, and this is a map that teams can hold at certain points. First hold are not out of the realm of possibility. We saw those at DreamHack, and second point hold has been pretty popular as of late too, so a pretty nice finish for Cloud9, even though it's not the fastest of times.
Can you not mention DreamHack while we're playing Hollywood? That would be great. Thanks.
Did I just put the curse on it?
Triggered.
Hey, you had to mock me for my pocket watch, and I'll tell you something. I've had that watch for 2 years. I've literally had it for 2 years, and I've never taken it anywhere. And the one time I used this very gorgeous pocket watch, which was a gift, mind you, you do nothing but mock me for it.
Okay.
And make me self-conscious about it.
You can't bring a pocket watch to an event and not have people go, wow, that's a pocket watch. You don't see that very often. It's a low-hanging fruit, Hex. It's just the way of the world.
And that is, honestly, it was like, I'm like, Hex is a normal guy. He seems pretty well-rounded, fairly, like a good bloke. No real quirks or, any of those weird things about him. And then he pulls out a pocket watch. I'm like, well, okay, bloody hell. Everyone's got their quirks, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry for wanting to know the time, and my fault.
Anyway, Slasher, quick, bring us back in after that last round, mate. If you do have anything to add before we jump into the fight.
No funny business coming out of Cloud9 here on defense. Let's see what happens when they actually run a standard comp on first point.
Yes, finally, no bloody Torbjorn Mendo. Sort yourself out. I know the Swedish attraction is there, but he has gone for the Roadhog in this case. And it will be Immortals actually trying to go around the side here, but what we see from Complexity as well, they like to try and spread and give back, but they almost fake it. They run as a group behind, Kaiko goes for high ground, and now they're going to push the point from the front.
Well, that is a hook that comes in, and the cleanup happens on the rib there after Nomi takes him down. They have rotated kind of towards the cafe. Short4 able to take on Verbo is nice. They continue to trade back and forth. Nomi adds his second kill of this offensive push here, and they're in a decent spot, but Short4 trying to bring it back.
Yeah, and not going to be enough, unfortunately. Hype quickly comes over the top there with the defense matrix and shuts down any further damage output from the Cowboy. And Nomi still being up is huge. Adam cheekily, though, look on the payload. He's forcing Ethan to deal with him one-on-one for a while, but eventually Agilities turns around and realizes there's a DJ, and no one booked him for this evening. It's going to be the payload getting on the move here. 5 minutes and 22 on the clock.
The good thing for them as well is they push that without having to use any of the ults that they gained all the way through. So they're going to have 4, probably 5 on this next push. Grim Reality, it's going to be interesting to see where he sets up. Sometimes you see the McCree trying to take the slow ride elevator up. Right now, he's just trying to poke away. Not an ideal position to shoot up top from the low ground, but there's really nothing pressuring him. I do think that he will try to flank. He is going around towards the elevator right now.
All right, high ground for Hyped. He's the only one up there. He's actually the only one that can really access this high ground without a lift or some other assistance. And it should be enough at this stage. You can see C9 are very slowly moving here, and Rib looking left and right as he comes out of the studios. Maybe it makes me think that they're expecting someone to be waiting for them, but no, it wasn't the case. And this has allowed a lot of progress, but this is now a good position for the defenders. It's close to their spawn. They can spawn back fairly quickly here, and we do need to see a solid fight. Wipe being one here for Immortals now. Self-destruct in over the top. Room for the Transcendence, but it's not doing much healing right now because Immortals aren't fighting.
No, a hookup over the top from Mendo is pretty nice from them as they take out Hyped early on, who's been somewhat of the raid boss for this Immortals team. It is Nomi who's boosted on the card, and they continue to push. They do wait for that to go away, but Kaikai taken out in turn as well, about 5v5 on the card. Grim Reality loves hanging out up top, and if no one's going to shoot at you, why not?
Interesting now that Immortals are actually playing a bit of a slower fight here. They're not being chaotic. They're not throwing themselves in. It's very different to what we actually see from them normally on defense now, and it's worked out. They've still got everyone up and ready to move forward here. They had the man advantage briefly, but Grim Reality gets hooked. Beautiful Earth Shadow from Nomi. He keeps Grim Reality alive and can get 3 people knocked down. All the tanks of C9. Now they're split. Now they've got 2 on one side, 4 on the other. And Agilities is running riot. 3 kills for him. Self-destruct desperate from Kaikai. Only 4 does find 2, but Agilities is forced to the fight. That's massive. 5th, oh
yeah.
God.
It's still going all the way for Immortals now. Kaikai's on the cart to try to stall out. I don't think they will throw any more bodies at this one. Should not come around the corner. Wolf should not be out here. Pays his life for it. That was a little ambitious there. Should have been rotating with his team. They got some bad spawns, but they could have got out of there now. Another pin comes in, followed by a hook. There goes Rib. This train is not stopping. They need to hold all the way back at last because Cloud9 has fed way too much in the last 15 seconds.
And this chasing for kills here as well for Immortals is going to give them a lot more progress here. They're going to get at least around the L-bend and ready to fight there before C9 can really set up anything remotely strong. And the thing is, there's a self-destruct available for Nomi here. Hype gets resuited. He's not far away from his own self-destruct. They're coming over the top, not quite yet. There's the Earth Shadow, though. That's devastating stuff. This should be a solid wipe here if Immortals can chase these kills properly. Adam again trying to stall, not going to work out. And now straight into stall for C9. This is scary. 3 minutes 58 on the clock here for Immortals. This is ridiculous.
They're flying. It's like they're facing against a team that does not even want to play defense for the most part. The last feeds were just unexcusable by a couple of players. This last stall, they have to start getting some kills here right now. But the self-destruct goes off the back line. Nomi, Hyped, and Graham get 3 there. This is all over but the crying. And yeah, let the tears commence.
Oh my God, 3 minutes and 38 seconds on the clock here for Immortals. And I've got to reiterate here as well, guys, just quickly. We talked about this previously. Immortals have not beaten Cloud9 on record. They have lost every game that they have played against them since August the 31st this year. So within the last 3 months at least. That's what we have, the data. They haven't won a game. They are on the precipice now of turning that around and finally getting a win against C9 in a series.
I mean, I wanted to see how Cloud9 was going to do running a more standard comp on first point defense, and the answer was not very well. Mitch and Hex. I mean, Immortals kind of blasted through, and then they had ult advantage all through second point. Cloud9 was never really able to get their feet in the ground. They had some bad spawns on third point, and Immortals just snowballed them through that entire map. It's going to be very hard for Cloud9 to do anything. They have to take first point early. If they even lose first team fight, and even if they win it on second fight, they're going to be in OT the entire Streets phase. It's going to be pretty difficult.
Well, honestly, maybe we're getting a little bit sick of seeing Roadhog be the factor in these games, but both teams are playing him, so there's no excuse. It's quite clear to see that one of the Roadhogs is doing a bit more than the other. But as it stands, 3 minutes and 51 seconds will be the time bank for Immortals, but more importantly, 1 minute remains here for C9 to get as far as they can. They want to at least get the first point here. And again, the comp they're bringing is not the dive. They don't have a Genji anymore. Mendo's on the Roadhog.
Yeah, no, I thought their dive actually worked relatively well, although it did rely on a couple really clutch kills that maybe aren't as consistently guaranteed as this composition will try to get in. They do hook Kai in there. They do trade kills right away. Ethan going down for the Immortals is actually really bad. There's a huge source of healing they're going to be without.
Oh, that was not too bad at all there. Hype getting the backside, looking for the kill on towards Short4, but it does look like it's a better fight here for C9. Agility's getting hooked there. That's pretty much done now. We're going to see a bit of an attempt at stall, and why not at this stage. But nice little boot back on towards Hyped. In fact, he's going to back away. He's going to allow C9 to have this point. I don't think the Immortals have enough gumption to actually contest this, although Hype, for some reason, wants to throw himself at the point. Okay, he's going. Immediately flash, but Nomi's there as well. He's charged out straight away, and now Hype trying to deal with Adam and Short4. The 1-on-2 situation, a tough one to get the better of, and Hype's eventually going to be desuited. But look at this, Immortals are back. The stall is real. This is perfect. It's C9 in overtime.
That's one of the powers of D.Va is you know you're guaranteed about 10 seconds to stall, even if you do end up getting killed, and a lot of times you will not be getting killed. Graham has gotten 2 kills of his own right now. That Earthshatter might just seal the game as both supports are down and deleted. Only Rib left on the point all by his lonesome. Discord, bye-bye. That is a hold based off of Hype stall.
C9 switch away from the strat that worked for them so much before. They put Kai on the D.Va, they put Mendo on the Roadhog, and it looked like they had it, but the timing was perfect. Hyped knew that he had to go on towards the point, and they grouped up. You know, Immortals grouped up for that last little hold instead of going one at a time. Slash it quickly. Beautiful stuff from them. C9 not getting anything there.
No, and you know, this map and series is about to come to a close. In just a little bit. I mean, Immortals would have to completely throw this away for this to be tied at the end. They have 4 minutes to win a single team fight. All they have to do is even junk rush 3 or 4 fights in a row and just save up 6 ults and then win this match. I don't even think it's going to need to take that long.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a bit of Overwatch history being made here. Of course, it's been a short history, but this would be the first time, online or otherwise, that Immortals have taken a series off of Cloud9, and they are paused to do so right now. 3 minutes 51 will be the time they have, and they're just going to save some ultimates up and maybe go for it. Or will they get it straight away? That's the big question. Not a big mix-up for them here. It does look like, Hex, they're going to go with the same team composition that Cloud9 themselves tried.
A lot of the same team comps tonight. What is most interesting to me is that we've seen more McCree today than I've seen in the last 2 weeks combined for the most part. So very interesting to see that they're really kind of prioritizing burst damage over the consistent damage on any map, especially you'd expect to see a Soldier 76 here. Neither team has been running it tonight.
Again, you can see mind games for Immortals. They're trying to keep C9 guessing as to where they are. Hyped is going to stay back with the rest of his team and work the high ground, but now they're going to push forward. And C9 very passive inside they should be because Immortals have got blood in their sights. It's in the water, they can smell it, and Short4 goes down first. Never a good sign for C9. Beautiful charge from Nomi. He finds Kaikai up against the wall, and Grimreality does go to Mendo, but Agility gets onto the chip. That's got to be it. Surely you don't recover from this one here. No chance to defend it. Mendo does get a desperate hook, but is taken down. It's the point being captured. Finally, the last ticks comes through, and Immortals have beaten Cloud9 in a series. It's 3-1, and Hollywood was where it all ended. Beautiful stuff. Immortals playing better than we've seen them in quite some time.
We talked coming into this series how good Hyped is on the D.Va, and he opened up the set killing people on control maps, and that's something you don't always see off of your D.Vas. He ended the map on a great stall to buy his team time to come back in and win the map on a full hold on Hollywood first. So it's exactly what we saw out of Hype, but both facets of the D.Va game there on control and just his stall-out game.
You know, before this series, I picked Cloud9 to win, especially based on how the map draft went, but I think the first map in the series really set the tone, even though Cloud9 came back and ran it back on King of the Hill and won in similar fashion. I thought that Immortals had a pretty good advantage in terms of the matchup just based upon their tank play, and I think we saw it once again that the better Roadhog was really indicative of their team being the better team. It's not that Mendo is a bad Roadhog, but he obviously has quite a dislike for the hero, which is a public thing. And if he's going to be run and put on it a lot of the time, then I think that's probably going to affect them going forward. They did have more success in these games running 2-2-2 when he was on Genji and when he was on McCree, but when they were forced into a triple tank setup, Immortals was really able to get the better of them.
Well, gentlemen, I've seen definitely some stuff in my time. That one was a nice little change here. I mean, again, one map was all that Immortals have ever gotten against C9, ever, in their last 8 games, which I believe is all of them since they were known as Immortals. They've just gone and tripled that in one game. Really nice to see such a change from them. They're looking a lot stronger. But C9 aren't done yet, of course, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to drop down to the losers finals here, and they're going to play against the winner of FaZe Clan and Complexity Gaming. FaZe managed to beat Liquid. Actually, wait a minute. That's not right.
Yep.
Is it FaZe? It is FaZe Clan. Okay, someone's put it wrong in Wikipedia. They're giving Liquid 2 rounds to 0. But FaZe advanced past Liquid. Complexity actually didn't have too much trouble with Kingdom Esports there as well. So, interesting turnaround. FaZe, Complexity, guys. What are your thoughts on that one? That will be the next match we see.
Ooh, that's a huge game. I mean, I really thought,
so stoked for that.
I was asked before the tournament started for today who I thought was going to win, and I actually had a gut feeling that Complexity was going to win this entire tournament until I saw they were sent down to losers for the tiebreaker. I'm going to give the Complexity the edge over FaZe for the same reason that I thought Immortals is going to give a lot of trouble to Cloud9, just based on the matchup and all the practice that Complexity has with Roadhog and then with Sombra to even counter the triple tank setup that other teams have. It's going to be very difficult for FaZe to beat out Complexity.
Hex, what are your thoughts, mate? Who's your pick here?
I really like Complexity. The only thing that bothers me about Complexity is I don't know how well speccing them is going to work. It appears to be multiple spectators when Sombra's in the game has been an issue.
No.
So I don't know. I really like watching them play. I think the reason they were in the lower bracket was some of those crashes did not go their way yesterday for sure. FaZe vs Complexity should be super fun to watch. I'm just really excited because I think this might be the first melee in about 4, maybe 5, now probably 4 months, but there's been more than one melee a month, that it's not going to be a Cloud9 versus FaZe final. We know that for certain as Immortals is waiting up in the finals. I don't know. Complexity versus FaZe. I tend to agree with Slasher. I spent a lot of time with their manager and some of the guys just talking to Complexity, and I feel that they have leveled up the month that they took offline to just really practice for DreamHack. They look like a good team, a strong team. And yeah, that should be a good one. I don't want to pick it because I did pick Cloud9 3-0 in this set. So what does my, pick mean anyway?
Well, honestly, I don't really think anyone would have expected it. If you look at the record, it's reasonable to pick C9. That's okay. That's analysis if you use that, by the way. So it's okay to be wrong, guys. Let's set that up. But next game, of course, going to be FaZe Clan versus Complexity Gaming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done for the night. We're going to be having Golden Boy and Hex in on for the first game. So briefly, I just want to thank you all for watching as well, the monthly melees throughout this year. It's been really fun to be involved in the last couple. Big thank you to Hex, Slasher, and ZP for having me along, guys. So we're going to go to a break. When we come back, it will be FaZe versus Complexity. Golden Boy and Hex will be at the helm. We'll see you then.